TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant announces preparations to launch a wide-scale offensive into Rafah. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pledges to reassert security along Israel's northern front. Following a 40-hour counter-terror operation in Northern Samaria, IDF Chief of General Staff Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi asserts that there will be no safe haven for any terrorists. Israel is intensifying its military activities on all fronts, including versus the Islamist Hamas in Gaza, the Iranian proxy Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and the Islamist Hamas in the West Bank districts of Judea and Samaria, as well as the Iranian proxy Hezbollah and its allies in Lebanon. On the Gazan front, IDF spokesman Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari asserted that the Israel Defense Forces are going after Hamas in Rafah, where it believes hostages are being held captive.
We're going after Hamas. We're going to release our hostages from Hamas. Hamas is in Rafah. Hamas has been holding our hostages in Rafah, which is why our forces are maneuvering in Rafah. We're doing this in a targeted and precise way.
In a message to allies and partners fearing a humanitarian catastrophe in the event of a Rafah offensive, Admiral Hagari asserted that the IDF has proven its proficiency.
The Israel Defense Forces has gained a lot of experience in conducting precise operations in complex areas and targeted raids against Hamas based on accurate intelligence. The IDF is committed to operating in accordance with the international law, and we will continue to keep that commitment. We're implementing lesson learned since Hamas started this war on October 7th and refining our operations so that there is minimal harm to the Gazan civilians Hamas is hiding behind. Hamas terrorists are waging war while embedding themselves inside and under civilians' areas in Rafah because Hamas wants Gazan civilians to be caught in the crossfire. We don't.
Admiral Hagari went on to reassure the international community that the IDF does not intend to smash into Rafah, but rather it operates carefully and precisely.
We're protecting Gazan civilians in Rafah from being a layer of protection for Hamas by encouraging them to temporarily evacuate to humanitarian areas, like we've done with around 1 million civilians in Rafah until now, who have moved out of harm's way, out of Hamas's stronghold in Rafah. We're not smashing into Rafah. We're operating carefully and precisely. So far, we have eliminated dozens of Hamas terrorists, exposed dozens of terror tunnels, and destroyed vast amounts of infrastructures, including rocket launchers with rockets inside, waiting to be launched by Hamas at Israeli homes.
As was mentioned by U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, Israel relayed to the Americans its plan for a wide-scale ground maneuver into Rafah, accompanied by far-reaching humanitarian measures to ensure minimal collateral damage and the provision of humanitarian aid to the non-combatant civilians that have relocated to the designated humanitarian zones.
We've shared our plans with the United States. We heard their perspectives. We have been attentive to their lesson learned, and we will continue this productive dialogue. We also continue to work with them on getting aid to the people of Gaza through the J-lots, the temporary floating pier. Ramping up the amount of aid going into Gaza remains our priority. Israel has facilitated the entry of 500,000 tons of humanitarian aid into Gaza, including almost 20,000 trucks of food while Hamas has been bombing humanitarian crossings, damaging water pipes, and stealing aid from the people of Gaza. Israel has been opening new aid crossings, fixing the water pipes in Gaza, and paving roads so that humanitarian aid reaches the people of Gaza in need.
Traveling to the so-called J-Lots, which is the American-constructed temporary floating pier, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant joined an Israeli naval vessel to inspect the latest operational activities from the Mediterranean coastline of Gaza, during the course of which he declared that the IDF will soon scale up its ground maneuver into the border town of Rafah.
I embarked this morning, together with commanders and officers from the Navy, in order to patrol off the coast of Gaza and examine the operational effort as well as the humanitarian effort that is taking place by sea. This operation is being carried out in an excellent way, in close cooperation with the land and air forces, and the impression is that things are working as they should. We are strengthening our effort against Rafah. This operation will increase and increase, more forces from the ground, more forces from the air, and we will reach our goals to hit Hamas very hard, to deny its military capabilities, to the point that we create all the conditions in order to return the abductees to their homes. This is an important thing. It is a central issue for us, and we will make every effort to implement it in all ways.
It is important to know that in contrast to past statements, U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, following a phone conversation with his Israeli counterpart, made a press release in which he stated, quote, Secretary Austin and Minister Gallant acknowledged a shared interest in the enduring defeat of Hamas and the urgent release of all hostages. They discussed how best to defeat Hamas's Rafah remnants while minimizing civilian harm. Meanwhile, turning to Israel's northern front, where Israeli War Cabinet Minister Benny Gantz visited northern Israel for a briefing on the situation vis-a-vis Lebanon, during the course of which he called upon Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to approve a plan that aims at bolstering Israel's northern communities, while in tandem to commit to returning the displaced residents of northern Israel to their homes, either via military power or through a mediated arrangement.
4 months ago, on January 23rd, the entire War Cabinet convened here in the North, alongside the Finance Minister and additional ministers, in response to my request. The Prime Minister promised to formulate a plan to bolster the North within days, amounting to billions of shekels, and we all committed to return the residents back to their homes with security. The residents of the North are strong patriots, and they will face any challenge. The IDF operates with force and brings about achievements in the battlefield that harm Hezbollah significantly. However, our challenge as a state is to realize our security, moral, and social responsibility. I call upon the Prime Minister to pass the plan to strengthen the North already today, and not to delay even for another day. In tandem, to prepare to return the residents to their homes with security by the 1st of September, either by military force or an arrangement. We cannot permit another year lost in the North.
Gantz's call upon Netanyahu took place as the Israeli premier visited Northern Command, where he received a comprehensive situation assessment, and after which he essentially committed to restoring security to the northern region of Israel.
We are constantly in action on the northern front. As of now, we have eliminated hundreds of Hezbollah militants, and we are still poised, even today. I just received a briefing from the head of Northern Command, and I also spoke with the division commanders. We have detailed, important, and even surprising plans. But I will not share these plans with the enemy, which are designed to do two things. First, to restore security to the North, and secondly, to restore the residents safely to their homes. We are determined to achieve both of them together.
Turning to the West Bank district of Samaria, where hundreds of troops of the IDF, in collaboration with the ISA and Border Police special operators, conducted a 40-hour counter-terror operation in the northern Samaria city of Jenin. During the course of this operation, terror infrastructure was located and destroyed, and a large cache of arms and munitions was located and confiscated in separate locations, and a number of terror operatives were eliminated in gun battles throughout those 40 hours. Meanwhile, IDF Chief of General Staff Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi arrived at the forward headquarters of the mission, during the course of which he also received a comprehensive update and toured the field of the area of operation.
During the counter-terror operation, constantly, and the engagement in difficult locations, and the understanding that there is no safe haven, we will reach every alleyway and house, including in the heart of the refugee camps, as well as in hospitals. Wherever terrorists are found, we will know how to initiate and arrive to attack, before they rise to attack us.
Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. I would like to encourage you, pray for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. Moreover, if you're blessed by our productions, which are exclusively donation-based and as such, broadcast free of charge, please consider making a donation. You can do so via our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. I'm Jonathan Hessen, wishing you a Shabbat Shalom U'Mevorach, and God willing, we'll see you during our next update. Until then, Shalom from Jerusalem.